Hey everybody, what is going on? Serial Love Drive here, and today I'm playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. What we're going to be doing today is more of a Let's Play style video where we're talking about skill-based matchmaking and why I think skill-based matchmaking isn't that bad. This is a video that a lot of people are going to hate, but hopefully some of you guys are going to understand what I'm saying and realize that skill-based matchmaking isn't this demon that a lot of influencers have made it out to be. So here's the thing, skill-based matchmaking, the way it works is it is designed to ensure that players are never playing against people who are too skilled or too unskilled for them, okay? Because you generally have this problem, right? Like, let's say I'm playing basketball, okay? And all of a sudden, like, Michael Jordan, LeBron, maybe, Dwayne Wade, and, like, Dwight Howard, all these, like, crazy basketball players decide to play against me. It's cool. I love it, right? Because they're kicking my ass, but at the same time, I'm playing legends, and this is awesome. But let's say every day I meet up with them and they keep playing against me and they they're kicking my ass, right? Like, I'm getting the ball smashed in my face. I'm walking home disgusted with myself. I feel like a fat slob because these professionals are out there looking good and dunking on me like it's nothing. So now I decide to go to the local elementary school, right? These kids are like 6 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. These kids are like 3 feet, right? 3'9". That's the tallest kid. I'm just smashing the ball in his face, and everybody's going to be up in arms. They're going to be like, Serial Overdrive, why are you playing against fifth graders here? What are you doing with yourself? Well, that's what's happening in these video games, okay? Players are making good money playing these games. These professional Call of Duty players with 1 million subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers, they can make thousands of dollars a video. And, like, look at my videos. I know this. I'm speaking from experience. You can make a lot of money with some really good Call of Duty content, okay? So these players are doing it for a living, and they're making a good living doing it, and more power to them for that. But the problem is, when you're playing 8 to 10 hours a day, every day, you're going to have 70 hours in this game in probably a week or two, right? So there's players out there right now with over 100 hours of gameplay in multiplayer alone, okay? 100 hours of gameplay experience. Me, I'm a casual player. I'm playing maybe like 4 to 5 hours a week. You know, since it just came out, I'm probably playing more like 10 to 12 hours a week. I think my total playtime is 11 hours in multiplayer. So I'm not that good, right? And what happens is when I end up playing against these pros, it's cool at first. It's awesome. I like doing it. But eventually what's going to happen is, as a casual player, I'm going to get disgusted and leave. I remember back in the day, 2007, I loved going into lobbies and just dunking on kids, destroying them. It was awesome. And then sometimes I'd get destroyed, right? It was just like nukes were going off and I was feeling bad about myself. But overall, the experience was pretty good because overall, I'd have some good games and some bad games. And what I've noticed recently is more and more people go pro, more and more people see a career in this. They're playing more and more. And what happens is a casual player like myself just keeps getting destroyed more and more. And it comes to the point where you just can't play multiplayer anymore. It just doesn't work. And people are saying, well, no, there's casual and then there's ranked. But here's what happens. The pros want good clips. There's good money behind good clips, right? That's how you get trending. That's how you make clips for Twitter, for YouTube, everywhere, right? Like, if you want a kill clip compilation, you're going to be doing 360 no scopes on noobs. It's like, you know, everybody used to rejoice when Christmas would come because it's like, all these new players come in, we can just destroy them because they don't know the maps. But now you've got literally professional level players who are memorizing these maps and figuring everything out before you've even had the chance to play them. There's 6 maps in the game, or 7 maps now, I don't know, whatever. It's a low amount, and these guys just know them all. They know every corner, every glitch, everything that you could ask for about this game. They've got it memorized. And yeah, it makes sense. That's their job. But when they come up against me, it's a horrible experience for me. And it's okay if I experience that every now and then, but when it's every game, it just gets ridiculous. And that's what's been happening in previous Call of Duties. So what happens is you implement skill-based matchmaking, so Michael Jordan is never playing the 5th grader, because that's just ridiculous. A 5th grader should not have to deal with someone of Michael Jordan's skill. Not at Call of Duty. Michael Jordan probably sucks at Call of Duty. It's a challenge, Michael. Come, beat me. Anyways, what's going on though, right, is these people who are just awesome at the game are playing these people who suck, and it's just so discouraging for those people, and this is not the experience that you want young gamers to have. I mean, granted, you don't want them to be in 2007 lobbies because they're going to learn some words that they probably shouldn't know, but you don't want them to be having this experience where they're just getting destroyed. So the best way to do it is skill-based matchmaking, and it seems fair. But the problem is, instead of doing something like you've got, you know, with most sports, right, you've got your beer leagues, right? Then you've got your minor leagues. Then you've got your major leagues. What they do is they just tune it. They fine-tune it. Someone went to the programmers, and they probably said this. They said, hey, we want everyone to get an average of a 1.0 KD. Can you make this happen? Well, the problem is they can. I'm a programmer, and I know for a fact that if you've got 1 million players, you can get everybody to within like 0.05 KD ratio. and you can make it perfect. But the problem is you don't want perfect. You want some games that are good and some games that are bad. And the system they designed, it gives everybody sort of a neutral path. Everybody's just at a 1.0 KD, and because there's no ranked system, there's no way to know where you're standing. So what you end up with is right now you've got an extremely competitive ranked games where nobody knows what rank they are. The best players in the world don't really know if they're the best players in the world, and the worst players in the world don't really know if they're the worst players in the world. It's a better experience for the players who are lower, but it's a worse experience for the players who are higher. That's generally why you see casual and ranked. But the problem is the players who are better go into casuals so they can get all sorts of crazy kill clips on all these people who have no idea what they're doing. So you need some sort of skill-based matchmaking in casual to prevent these players who are sort of taking advantage of the system to just do awesome. And granted, there are some people already taking advantage of this new system, because what happens is you can play with someone who's a lower skill level. So for instance, if I decide to play with let's say my cousin who's 4 years old, has no idea how a controller even works. He's in this lobby of kids who are just running at walls, and the biggest competition they've got is with that clock, right? The clock counts down. If they can get, one of those circles in that time, they're going to win the game. These are kids who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. They're playing on some dial-up connections. I don't know what's going on there, right? If I play with that guy, I'm going to end up in a lobby that's quite similar to that, and all of a sudden I'm going to be a god, right? And there's some players who are doing that. But what generally happens is players who want to play on their own, they're ending up in these matches of people who are equally skilled as them. So they're getting a 1.0 KD, which feels really bad when you've got a 5.0 KD in other games. But overall, it is sort of a better experience, but it's just too fine-tuned. So what you need to do is you need a skill-based matchmaking system where you put all these players in leagues. And this is what I'm hoping they're going to introduce to Call of Duty. They're going to put everybody in some sort of league, right? Like, it's going to be very loose. You're going to have some people who are really good, some people who aren't that good. And they're just going to end up playing each other. And what you're going to have is you're going to have the ability to get 2.0, 3.0 KD, but you're not going to be able to get in these matches and just get 5.0 KDs every time you play. Right now, what they're doing is a horrible system, because what happens is they're not giving any rewards for playstyle. For instance, if I decide that I want to rush with a sniper, that's a horrible decision that you should never let the player do and feel successful doing it. But if I decide I want to rush with the sniper and I do that enough, eventually I'm going to end up in a lobby where everybody's rushing with a sniper. We're going to be 360, no-shotting each other, and we're going to miss every shot, but we're going to try it, and that's all it's going to be. It's going to be a bunch of kids just spinning around in circles in this lobby, and we're going to end up with a 1.0 KD, which is ridiculous because you should not be rewarded for that play style. But when you've got this skill-based matchmaking that is just so tight, what's happening is any play style works, because no matter who you end up against, they're going to have a play style that ends up with a KD ratio similar to yours. So you're not seeing any sort of competitive play because everybody's just ending up in a lobby where they're all sort of equal. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story here is that I do agree with skill-based matchmaking. I can see why you need it, because there's this upper echelon of players that should never be playing against a lower echelon of players because they're just too good. And it never used to be a problem back in the day. This is why everybody's like, oh, it worked back in 2007. Why can't we do it like this? It's because no one was making a living playing Call of Duty back in 2007. There's some really hardcore people who skip out of high school, drop out of high school to play Call of Duty. We called them losers, and they made nothing doing it. And eventually their parents said, hey, dude, you got to move out of the basement. It's smelly down there. You're not showering. You got to move into your own place. So then they've got to go work somewhere. They've got to get a job, and they can't play Call of Duty 24/7. Well, nowadays it turns out if you play Call of Duty 24/7 and you're really if you're doing really good, you can actually pay someone to shower you. You can sit there playing the game in your shower, and someone's going to be, it's weird, but, pros, that's how they're like. But yeah, people are making a ton of money doing it, so now it's something that you can do for a living, and there's way more people doing it, and because of that, they've got to implement some sort of skill-based matchmaking to make sure that these players aren't interacting with other players too often, because it really is unfair. A casual lobby should be casual. The problem is, now it's just so tightly ranked that casual lobbies just feel like ranked lobbies. And instead of being ranked where you know where you're ranking, you're just playing against people of equal skill level, so you have no idea of your progress. You have no idea if what you're doing is working. For instance, if I decide to rush with a sniper, eventually I'm going to feel like that's working. And I haven't gotten better at the game. I haven't gotten better at sniping. I'm just playing against people that are just as bad at it as me. Instead, I should probably be switching to, something like a shotgun that you want to rush with. But if I switch to a shotgun, my KD is going to be the same. It's going to jump up for a couple rounds, and then all of a sudden I'm going to be the same as everybody else. And it's going to just feel like I went back to where I was when I was rushing with a sniper, and that sense of progression is just gone, and that's what I think a lot of players are complaining against. So Yeah, my idea of a system, if you're from Activision, I don't know why you're listening to my video, but if you're from Activision and you're looking for an idea, my idea would be to put in some sort of like barriers, right? Like give it a plus or minus, okay? So someone with a 1.0 KD versus players of, let's say, 200 level skill, they're going to be able to play people of like a 400, 500 level skill and, you know, something like a 100 level skill too. Like there's some sort of bands that you've got to put in, and these bands have to enable players to do really good or do really bad. So you should be able to get a 0.25 KD ratio if you're doing horrible, and that shouldn't just drop you into a lower band where all of a sudden you can just run that strategy and do amazing. But at the same time, you should also be able to get like a 5.0 KD if you're just really on point that game, and you should not be negatively like sort of hurt for that. Obviously, one thing with all these matchmaking systems is if they loosen up the bands and then they get more data on the player and the play style, it's going to be more and more fair, and you're going to see everything sort of evening out more and more. It's just, so these are sort of launch day issues, and I really do think they're going to be able to fix it. But hopefully they're going to be able to fix it fast, because right now it's just extremely annoying that no matter what play style you pick, it works and it doesn't work. Like my KD right now is literally 1.01. I'm not that good of a player. My KD should probably be like 0.75, and it's a 1.0. Anytime I go into a game, I pretty much get equal scores. I have no idea if what I'm doing is working. It turns out like I'm playing the pacifist, right? And somehow it works. I just don't kill anybody. I just run through the map. I take a look at the scenery. Everybody's hanging out. It's a really cool experience. But it just doesn't feel right, because that's not Call of Duty, right? This isn't go look at the flowers and smell the wind. No. This is Call of Duty, and you should not be rewarded for playing like a idiot. Anyways, that's my take on skill-based matchmaking. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments. I don't really do this too often, but if you like the commentary type stuff, we can make it happen more. Anyways, as I said, thank you for watching. Until next time, peace.